Today on X-Play, the Wii launches, Excite Truck, Rayman Raving Rabbids, and the legend of you-know-who, Sense Motion. It's game time.
Morgan Webb. Prepare to be reviewed. This is X-Play.
Hello and welcome to X-Plays. We celebrate a day of joy and magic the world around.
Today, Nintendo is launching its new console, the Wii, and we, after months of mockery, fantasy, and impatience, finally get to tell you how good its key launch titles are.
Titles like Excite Truck, which is like Excite Bike, only instead of dirt bikes, there were big-ass trucks. And Madden, which hopes to revitalize the classic sports sim series with a non-traditional approach to controls. And the mother of all Save the Princess franchises steps up to the plate with The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. I'm not going to explain why this is a big deal.
Hype is for babies.
Everyone gets that this is a very big day and that all our hopes and dreams could easily be ruined if this console sucks.
So let's dive right in. Here is our review of Red Steel.
For many, Red Steel was the first Wii game they ever saw. But should it be the first one you buy over all those other launch titles?
I think I love them all.
That's your slightly ADD-afflicted girlfriend, who just happens to be the daughter of a Yakuza big shot. When you go to meet your potential father-in-law during his visit to Los Angeles, an attempt is made on his life. Sado! Your girl is kidnapped. You're not cold.
Oh my God, Scott! He's dead!
And thus begins a quest to find her that spans the globe. Red Steel is a fairly standard first-person shooter at its core. You point, you shoot, you dodge incoming fire. The difference is that aiming and looking is done entirely with the Wiimote. This makes Red Steel feel unlike just about any other FPS, although this is both good and bad.
There he is! Somebody stop this guy!
It's good in that the unique controls hold your interest long after the relatively pedestrian levels and enemies would have lost it in a non-Wii game.
Give up, moron!
It's bad in that, well, most of the challenge in the game comes from controlling your character. You have to know precisely where the controller is pointing at all times, and you'll be holding it up at the screen at all times. Prepare for some cramped hands. The toughest control trick is the zoom in, which is done by pressing a button on the remote to lock on, and then pushing the remote towards the TV. It's incredibly easy to lose track of your target doing this. The sniper rifle in particular is jumpy when zooming.
You do look a bit tense.
To compensate, the enemies sometimes exhibit silly behavior. Thanks for standing around while I get a beat on you there, buddy. Oh! Breaking up the shooting sequences are somewhat inexplicable sword fights.
Scott, use the blade!
But I have a shotgun. Why don't I just shoot him? Probably some dumb honor thing. But the sword combat is probably the best part of the game. The remote swings the sword while the wag of the nunchuck parries incoming attacks. When the battle is over, you can even choose whether or not to spare your opponent's life. As you progress in the game, you'll learn advanced techniques like this bullet time style focus attack. They're introduced a bit late. They do help mix things up more.
You'll never reach the fucking lot! Don't be skyjin!
Yeah, you're in Los Angeles, dude. Technically, that makes you the stupid gaijin.
Do I look all right? Sorry, I know I've asked you 10 times already.
All right is about as far as we'll go. Red Steel isn't particularly pretty. It's best described as serviceable. There are some nice explosion effects, though. Despite numerous cool control ideas, Red Steel doesn't quite gel into more than the sum of its parts. Ultimately, that unique interface that saves it from mediocrity is also what keeps it from greatness.
You said I shouldn't expect any personal sympathy.
A 3 out of 5.
Don't shoot me, you maniac!
Even if all the titles aren't perfect, the Wii does seem to come through on innovative, intuitive gameplay. There's a lot going on with this console. Let's take a closer look.
Ever since the dawn of time, mankind has asked the age-old question, what are we? Were we created by a higher being? Or did we evolve from something primitive? God, I love wordplay. So, as I was saying, the Wii took a different path from the traditional game console by taking the familiarity of a television remote and fusing it with rumble, speaker, and motion-sensing Bluetooth technology to come up with the most interactive game controllers to date. So how do we work? Basic operations of the remote include waving our hands side to side, left to right, but we can do so much more. We can push. We can pull. We can also point, hold, grab, and twist. Most importantly, we can expand. Through an expansion port, we can add devices such as the nunchuck, which features an analog stick, 2 buttons, and the same motion sensing capability as the Wii remote. So what else do we have to offer? Another, more adorable version of yourself, a digital doppelganger called Me. Yeah, Nintendo loves hilarious wordplay as much as I do. Me can be seen in your games. Me can also be stored in your Wiimote and brought to other Wiis. But what is a Wiimote without channels? The Wii offers channels, the weather channel, photo channel, and a virtual console channel which lets you download classic Nintendo games from years past. So that, in a small white box, is what the Wii is about.
You know, I spent the past 4 months having nightmares that the Wii would fail me.
Like the Dreamcast did.
And my mom.
Yeah.
My dad. Well, most of the things I love.
That's why I repress my emotions, feeling, caring, and hoping, just recipes for disappointment.
For more ways of avoiding dealing with your own inner turmoil, swing up by our website and watch some of our fine videos.
Because staring at a computer screen is a great first step to ridding yourself of human weakness.
Moments away, Excite Truck. And later, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on X-Play.
Brought to you by the Civic from Honda. Reverse your thinking. The camera...
Filled to the brim with girlish glee, it's Adam Sessler.
Welcome back to X-Play. We're celebrating the launch of the Nintendo Wii with a show entirely composed of Wii reviews. And Nintendo has long been known for fronting a strong slate of launch games, and this time makes homage to one of their original NES titles, Excite Bike, with its spiritual successor. Here's Excite Truck for the Wii. Who would have thought that one of the best games for the Wii would be a spin-off of an NES game from over 2 decades ago? Yes, Excite Truck offers up all the fun of driving a truck at unsafe speeds without the crystal meth addiction and anonymous sex at public rest stops. Unlike most games for the Nintendo Wii, Excite Truck asks that you hold your Wiimote with both hands. You steer by simply leaning the motion-sensitive controller left and right. The face buttons let you accelerate in turbo. Tilting the controller back allows you more airtime, and leaning it forward makes you hit the ground quicker. So, how well does it work? The answer is very well. There's a bit of a learning curve at first as you come to grips with the control. You'll probably oversteer for a while, but once you get the hang of it, driving with the controller becomes second nature, and that's good, because the later levels get very challenging. Throughout each level, there are triggers that drastically alter the layout of the course. They usually transform the upcoming terrain into jumps that rocket you into the air. The big surprise of Excite Truck is that you don't actually have to finish first to win. On each course, you're actually trying to collect a designated number of stars. If you get enough, you can move on to the next race. How do you earn stars, you ask? Well, you get them from pulling off drifts, grabbing big air, and destroying everything else on the road. Of course, you'll get bonus stars when you finish in first place, so there's still plenty of incentive to cream the competition. What we loved most about Excite Truck was the overwhelming sense of speed. When you're playing well, it feels like you're on an out-of-control roller coaster. What's also cool is that the game lets you play custom soundtracks that you've stored on an SD card. We really hope this becomes a standard feature in plenty of Wii games. We do have one slight complaint. It seemed like they skimped quite a bit on the presentation. There were almost no extras, and the barren menus are about as interesting as a PowerPoint presentation at a dentist convention. Would it have killed them to add some personality? Also, an online mode or 4-player support would have been nice. But hey, who's complaining? This is a great addition to the Nintendo library. If you only get one game for your Wii this year, well, it probably won't be this game. But it's not a bad runner-up. Excite Truck gets a 4 out of 5.
I'm
comfortable with games that are this easy to pick up and play.
Well, while Nintendo hopes the Wii will open up gaming to people who don't traditionally play games, I'm going to have none of it.
The point of video games is to hone the hand-finger coordination of America's youth such that in the next generation of technocratic warfare, we can subdue the rest of the world with our quick reflexes and deft camera control.
Making games safe for busy moms who love George Clooney and calcium will just degrade the purity of the medium and lead to more game adaptations of Grey's Anatomy and Providence.
I liked Providence. One of his characters was the living dead.
Up next, Madden 07. And later, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on X-Play.
If you've got 60 seconds, I've got the truth. This is a Morgan Minute. There are ads everywhere, and I love them. Ads are how you pay for things without actually paying for them. And if you ask me, it's a pretty good system. I would rather learn about hemorrhoid cream than fork over 20 bucks every time I want to watch CSI. Ads in video games are a natural extension of this, but the game makers forgot one very important part of the formula. Ads are how you pay for things without actually paying for them. You want to fill my beautiful racing game with ads for Singular? Awesome! Make it half the price. You want to feed updated ads over my Xbox Live network? Well, fantastic! Then Xbox Live should be free. Remember, kids, if you watch ads, you should get free stuff. I'm Morgan, and that's been a minute.
Jinx presents World of Warcraft clothing and gear. Check it out at jinx.com. When it comes so little, so white, so beloved, it's Adam Sessler.
We played a lot of football sim, sure, and now that the NFL sold an exclusive license to EA, we were pretty sure we'd see no diversity of football games for a while. The Wii promises to keep the genre evolving with an entirely new approach to gameplay. Here's our review of Madden NFL 07 for the Wii.
Football, America's favorite sport. Madden, America's crazy billionaire uncle. If there's a new gaming system, John Madden is there with his worldwide revolutionary Madden-only game in town NFL franchise. But it's Wii time now, friends. A whole new ball game for gamers and the universe. Can Madden keep up? Does Peyton Manning choke in the playoffs? It's the same answer. Madden NFL 07 can't be stopped. It can't even be slowed down. So yes, Madden NFL 07 actually works on the Wii. Granted, it will take time. It will take practice. And if you're the San Francisco 49ers, it will take lots and lots of practice. The controls won't be easy to get used to while playing with this gridiron gang. You can't just pick it up and completely get it. It's not hockey, for Pete's sake.
Wee.
But once you do, oh, the fun you'll have. The passing, the catching, the sacking, the kicking, the loving. The game is so much more Carson Palmer-esque with the Wii, minus the ligament damage and USB education. All the Madden you'll ever need is here for the Wii. All the teams, all the players, all the modes. You can create a player and do something Suri Cruz would love to do, change her parents' DNA. But what we really like are the mini-games. Not real football, cute pint-sized football. Good enough for you and your wee little friends and perfect for your Wii-dominated lives. Surprisingly, or not, the visuals aren't as sharp as Madden is on the 360 or the PS3. Yet, the game seemed more fun on the Wii. Go figure. Only the Wii can make a barn burner like Houston, San Francisco seem fun. That's better than reality. Serious Madden heads, you know the type, might not enjoy football on the Wii. They may say it's not pure, not as serious. To those people we say, be more like Ricky Williams and mellow out. It's the same football, just Wii-ified. So if you're a casual football fan just looking for a few reasons to sack Michael Vick over and over again, Madden on the Wii won't embarrass you. Far from it. We give Madden NFL 7 on the Wii 4 Hasselbacks out of 5.
What a play, Johnny.
While Madden for the Wii may be fun, we all know that Nintendo consoles are built to play games that are somewhere in between stupid and adorable. And we have such a game. Here's Rayman Raving Rabbids.
What has no arms, no legs, big ears, and is more French than a pack of Gauloises smothered in melted brie? Well, it's our old pal Rayman, back for a brand new adventure on the Wii, or as they call it in France, the Yes. Rayman Raving Rabbids is the latest romp through the twisted mind of Rayman creator and game designing superstar Michel Ancel. In it, we find our floaty little pal captured by a pack of diabolical rabbits. That's rabbits with a T, but the name is with a D. Don't ask us, we're not French. The deranged bunnies imprison little Ray Ray and force him to perform as a kind of gladiator in their arena. But instead of fighting, you must complete a variety of mini-games to please the harebrained hares and win your freedom from their dank dungeon. Complete a few and you'll be rewarded with a plunger and pass on to the next day. Once back in your cell, it quickly becomes clear what the plungers are for. The games themselves are so fun and absurd, you might not want to escape. They take advantage of many aspects of the Wii controller, from your basic tilt functions to aiming with the Wiimote, to using the mini onboard speaker, to some good old-fashioned nunchuck shaking. Rayman is a veritable Wii demo machine, which is great because when your family is over at Thanksgiving wondering why you're shaking a small piece of white plastic while on the screen rabbits in scuba masks get squirted in the face with carrot juice, you can look at them and say, would you rather milk a cow? Or perhaps hit some rabbits in the head with a shovel. See, there's something for everyone. There's even a lot of fun outfits to play with. Hey, where have I seen that hair before? Oh, yeah. And cool unlockable tracks. Know what I'm saying, playa? So, whether it's a little cow tossing, disco dancing, skydiving, or slapping choir boys, Rayman has enough fun Wii-centric gaming to make everyone happy, except people who like bunnies or other innocent cartoon creatures. They may not like stuff like this. Or this. But we do. We give Rayman Raving Rabbids 4 Raving Rabbids out of 5. This is adding up to rather an auspicious launch. It's a thing my Chinese astrologer predicted the Wii would become sentient and kill President Oprah.
Chinese astrologers are stupid. There's no such thing as fate, just Nintendo refusing to be mediocre when they could be slightly underpowered but unendingly delightful.
In a moment, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on X-Play.
You're watching G4, next X-Play, followed by Star Trek The Next Generation, then Arrested Development, later Cheaters on Midnight Spank. Brought to you by Chrysler, inspiration comes standard.
You love Japan. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play. The jewel in the crown of the Wii launch titles continues one of the most respected franchises in gaming. The Legend of Zelda has produced instant classics like Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and also crap, like Wand of Gamelon, but mostly great stuff. Here's a review of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
It's been too long since we've heard that sound. You were teased at Space World 2000. You were frustrated by Wind Waker. So get ready to shut your whiny fanboy mouth. Meet The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess finds Link slumming it, but an evil force called the Twilight has to screw it all up. Suddenly the lives of the good folk of Hyrule hang in the balance. If only they hadn't cut defense spending. Life is hard out here for a Hyrulean pimp. Monsters cruise the hood, Zelda has lost her party girl status, and Link gets turned into a wolf. You'll walk the lonely road of puzzles, unexplored lands, and Mortal Kombat as only a Zelda game can. The wolf form of our hero of time has learned some new tricks. His wolf senses can sniff out buried treasures or track characters by scent. He also specializes in creative forms of breaking and entering. Link's canine self is part of a greater animal motif, from spanking a giant baboon to conversing with chickens. The Legend of Zelda has peddled the same items from game to game for nigh on 2 decades. But Twilight Princess manages to reinvent these tried and true tools. Let me just say, iron boots plus magnetic rock equals awesome. Much has been made of how Twilight Princess would function on the Wii. The motion-sensitive Wii controller comes into play during combat and projectile use. A simple shake of the controllers runs Link through his sword regimen. Arm the bow or claw shot and aim your Wiimote like a laser pointer. Fire with the trigger to unleash an express delivery of pain. The Wii integration is pretty flawless as long as you remember your sword isn't the A button anymore. Link has been schooled in the ways of badassery since his last outing. His sword work is vicious, including a kill move that is so satisfying. Give Ganon a message. Tell him I'm coming for him and hell's coming with me. The graphics are the chink in Twilight Princess's armor. It looks about as good as a high-end GameCube game. A stark difference from the next-gen graphical power the PS3 and 360 are vomiting forth. Gross. Somebody at Nintendo has seen Lord of the Rings several hundred times because Twilight Princess brings a Peter Jacksonian epicness to The Legend of Zelda. The game is long, with upwards of 40 hours of gameplay. There are tons of side quests to explore, and Hyrule's square mileage is large enough to make the Louisiana Purchase blush. Nintendo has pulled off gaming on a grand scale. If you need some Link lovin', Twilight Princess is the game you've been waiting for. Swordplay, sniffing, switch work, it's got it all. Even a baboon smacking its own ass. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess gets a 5 out of 5.
In this flow of console release pleasure, let's make an X-Play replay.
Red Steel got a 3 out of 5 for fun weapons but difficult gameplay.
Excite Truck got a 4 out of 5 because it is easy to pick up and play.
Madden NFL 07 got a 4 out of 5 for bringing new life to the franchise.
Rayman Raving Rabbids got a 4 out of 5 because the Wii is an unending parade of pleasure.
And The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess got a 5 out of 5 because it's amazing.
And you were just amazed by an X-Play replay.
Amaze yourself.